on a video that was on another sister channel. And so after the live is over, I will be putting that video in the description box. So what I want to do is I'm not against marriage, y'all. So as I go through this, I'm not going to be anti-marriage. However, what I am is I'm pro options, right? And so what happens is a lot of traditions have not worked, and they've led to a lot of misery, and people don't know their options. So I tune in to some of Carl Jung teachings. He is a psychologist from the 1900s that tapped into his spirituality. He counseled and was the psychologist and psychiatrist of a lot of miserable people, y'all. So what happens is he was able to understand what truly makes people miserable sometimes. Okay, so I'm gonna start playing the video in just 1 second. Okay, so hold on just 1 second. And this won't be the video at first, but I came in on 16 minutes of the video, so I'm going to be playing it back because the live ended. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the commentary on the whole live. I'll just see how it was. But the sister, she was on there with Philip Scott, and they both were doing their commentary. Both of them recommend marriage. However, I'm not Crimson Cure and I'm not Philip Scott. So what I recommend is options, okay? And we're often taught that marriage has to be the only option, and we miss out on what the other options are. But like I said, I'm not against marriage. However, I am against unhealthy living. And to be quite honest, just because someone is married does not mean they're actually living healthy. I've seen it time and time again. I was once married. I wasn't living healthy, especially emotionally and in the mind. Um, I would compare my marriage to like a prison sentence. I'm just being honest. But that does not mean everybody's marriage will be that way. So I know that it's not always that way. However, you don't want to miss out on the information of those that have actually entered into a marriage. So I'm going to be doing the commentary. So hold on just 1 second, y'all. And I think the commentary will be quite interesting, y'all, because I've studied a lot. I have a lot of experience. And one of my goals here is to protect you and never have you enter into any form of misery. I don't want you miserable. I want you married if you want to be married. However, I do not want you miserable. And a lot of times, that's what a lot of marriages end up being. They end up being miserable, y'all. So I'm going to play the video, and then just to make sure you know the difference between me and the sister, when I speak and give my commentary, I will say my thoughts. So you're sure of who's speaking, what information. Okay, so hold on just 1 second. So, and like I said, I'll be putting the video that I'm doing the commentary on, I'll be putting it in the description as well. So hold on. And it's kind of going to play her music in the beginning. Just going to be playing her music. Let me see. I'm going to skip through some of that because I don't really need the music. I want to get to the words. I'm not trying to get no copyright claim. But it's talking about the Black family. And, you know, they're always recommending marriage, no matter how miserable it actually is in real time. And they never discuss other options, right? I mean, there's so many other options, especially 2020,
Welcome to the Princess
2025.
Channel, where we embrace our femininity
And that's not me,
our
y'all. That's
women's
the sister
values,
channel.
and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine
She believes
journey to
in
learn,
celebrating her
heal,
brothers.
and grow.
Okay.
Hey there, everyone.
And just so you know the background, this sister Kendra, she's been married. I think she was like in a 20-year marriage that did work away. Now she looks pretty young to me. Not young, but she might be way younger. She may be older than the way she looks. You know, it's one of those things where black don't crack, y'all. So she could be in her 60s looking like she's 30 because she was in a 20-year marriage. So it's been kind of hard for me to pinpoint her age because she's so beautiful and she looks so young and her black just didn't crack. So with that being said, she is, as far as I know, I don't think she's gotten remarried. Okay, now Philip Scott, the gentleman in the video, he is currently married. He does suffer from some form of obesity, okay, overweight or obesity, or he could be morbidly obese. And what that means is if you Google average weight and you go to rush.edu and you look up his height and his weight, I'm not sure what his height is, he would be in overweight or obesity, or if he's not on the chart, that means that he would be morbidly obese. But he's married, y'all. See, this is the stuff that I notice about people, because I don't want to know if you married. What's your weight like, right? If you're in such a healthy marriage and you've been married so long, why ain't you got some of this weight off you? Appealing to be morbidly obese. It's just not. That means you're not on the chart, but he's at least overweight, obese, or morbidly obese, but teaching us that marriage is the best thing out there. And it's just absolutely not true. Okay. So I want you to pay attention to some of these signs. And let's pray that he gets some of the weight off. But does he even know to get the weight off? Because he's so focused on his marriage, right? His wife is so focused on fixing him these dinners that's keeping him overweight, obese, or morbidly obese. But let's assume that he's at least, I'm not sure. Normally I could kind of tell, but he's definitely overweight and obese, for sure. Teaching about marriage. And Kendra, the sister, her marriage lasted a very long time. And so, but she's now without her husband. So this is another thing about marriage, y'all. They do die. And you end up in the same situation as anyone else that's unmarried. Because somebody got to die first, right? And so you want to think that, oh, it's so good or whatever, but actually it's not. If somebody wants to leave a comment in the chat, like the one person that just came in, can you leave type something in the chat? That way I can see if I can see your messages, because I have this device on do not disturb. And I just want to know if I'm able to leave a comment here, or maybe I can test it from another device. I don't know. I'll just test it myself. But if y'all type something, I'll know for sure. Okay, so let's get into this live.
Hey there, everyone.
And this is Kendra, y'all. This is the sister.
Today, hopefully everyone is fine. As you can see, I would like for everyone to give a warm welcome to Philip Scott from the Advice Show. This brother has come.
She's my thoughts here. So she's introducing Philip Scott. Okay. He's a nice looking man, y'all, but he need to get some of this weight off him for his health. And so as he grows older and older, you know, sometimes you think, okay, well, I'm healthy, I'm not having no problems. It's almost slim to none that he's not already on some kind of blood pressure pills or some sort of medication that's linked to his weight, y'all. Okay. Now, I have kept 25 pounds off of me consistently for 3 years and not gained it back. So I was having excess weight on me as well. I need to lose some of it, but I am not morbidly obese. Okay. Give it 15 more pounds off, I'll be in a better situation as well. So if I got 15 more pounds off, I will have lost 40 pounds total. Okay. So here I go.
Welcome to Philip Scott from the Advice Show. This brother
Again, Kendra is welcoming Philip Scott.
Come a very long way. I remember
he will be worshiped because he is a married man. Okay.
When I used to watch Phil,
and worshiping somebody ain't a good thing, y'all.
When he was a small channel. I used to watch you when you were a small channel.
Yeah, she watched him when he was a small channel. He probably was smaller. Okay. Everything's gotten bigger. His channel and him, y'all.
And now to see all of the...
And I'm not saying it to make fun of them, y'all. I'm just saying when you look at people that are married, sometimes y'all zoning in on the wrong thing. You don't want to be following somebody's unhealthiness. Follow some married people that got their weight straight, that got their prayers right, that got their religion right, that's not obese and morbidly obese. You don't want somebody looking at your husband and they're aware of what the numbers are with weight, and somebody can't tell if your husband or your wife is obese or morbidly obese, which category they're in. Okay. And this man ain't no hardcore bodybuilder. He's not in the gym working this out. He's just not. I mean, I'm looking at him. Does he work out? Yes, but it's not healthy, y'all. And so get yourself in a marriage where your weights are good. And I did another video where I go over numbers, and before this live ends, I'll give some examples, y'all. And hold on.
Small channel. And now to see all of the expansion.
Kendra, I love her, but she's gonna worship him more because he is married, whether he's overweight or not. A man that's single, that's a black man that's actually healthy mentally and physically, that's his right body weight and not obese, he just won't be viewed the same, even though in the mind and the body, that single black man may be in way better shape than a married man. But Philip Scott is going to be more recognized as being a better man, a better mentor, and a better role model. And Kendra's not going to mention his weight. I'm mentioning his freaking weight so that you have more insight on more. So I'm going to mention his weight. Kendra's not going to mention his weight. This live that they did is 1 hour and 15 minutes. She's never going to mention his body weight because he's just being worshiped because he's married. And I'm going to be honest. Philip Scott, very intelligent, very smart man, very hardworking man. I don't view him as a happy man. Okay, the vibe that I get from Philip Scott is not unhappy, but I've never looked at him and said, this is a happy man. Okay, so let's point this out. Because there is a such thing as happy marriages, y'all. Nobody's usually truly completely happy when they ain't doing the best they can with their weight. He can do better than this, y'all. He can get 25 pounds off of him. If me as a lady can do it, he can too. Just getting 25 pounds off of Philip Scott would help him. His clothes would fit better. Sometimes it looks like to me like he's still wearing some of his best clothes that actually he may have outgrown, you know, but don't go buy new clothes. Don't go buy bigger clothes. I never went to a larger size. You know what I did? I got the 25 pounds off. I said, no, I ain't going to the larger size. When some of my stuff could not fit me, I kept them clothes. I had too many of those clothes in that size not to just lose the 25 pounds, y'all. So that's just how I feel there. But like I said, Kendra ain't gonna mention his weight. That's not gonna be mentioned. And the likelihood of Philip Scott seeing my live is slim to none because I don't have as many views as she does. So he's not gonna hear this live where I'm talking about my concern for his weight. I want his wife to have him longer. So if he got at least 25 pounds off, he would be in a better health condition so that he doesn't pass away so soon. And he has a black wife, so I would like his wife to have him longer. I'm not like hating on marriage and jealous of marriage. That's not what this is about. I'm just pointing out some things that Kendra will not point out. And Philip, he's not going to mention his weight, right? Philip Scott is not going to mention his weight. So, okay, listen, y'all. Listen to what they're saying.
Small channel. And now to see all of the expense.
Now, Kendra's the right weight. She's the right weight. She's normal. She's not overweight. She's not obese. She's not morbidly obese. She's the correct weight she should be for a human being.
And the growth that your channel has had, that actually makes me happy. I'm very proud. I've always been watchful of your channel and very happy for all of.
Now, Kendra is very supportive, so you got to give her props for that. She's saying very positive things.
Your success, because you're huge. The African Diaspora channel has more than.
But he's a married man, so she's going to say that about him.
Million subscribers at this point. So I want to welcome you. How you doing today, Mr. Phil?
How you doing, Miss Kendra? It's good to finally speak with you.
Definitely. You know, I think you probably was in the space longer than me in the YouTube podcasting space, if I'm not mistaken, if my timeline isn't incorrect. So, you know, I'm definitely happy to be able to have a conversation with you today. It's kind of been
and this is a big thing for Kendra, y'all, because she is actually this is a famous man, y'all. Philip Scott, he's known and he's famous. Okay. Much more known than me and Kendra. Okay. So hold on, y'all. I'm just gonna test something because I want to see if I am allowed to leave comments. So hold on. Okay. So I'm just testing the do not disturb thing. Okay. So let me go out of here. I'm just making sure that this is working right, y'all. I am making sure that this is working right. Okay, hold on just 1 second.
I remember reaching out probably a couple of years ago, and you know, timing is everything. So I think now is a better time.
She reached out a couple of years ago, and I guess he wasn't available. This man has a busy schedule, y'all. Philip Scott, he can't just go on everybody's channel. He's doing a lot of news, commentary, meetings, and he's a very busy man. And that's good for him. He probably would even have more weight on him if he wasn't as busy as he is. But it looks like he's sitting down, y'all. You know, this is the thing with videos. Like right now, you can't see me, but I'm standing. I'm not sitting. For one, sitting doesn't help asthma. So I find that standing as I talk will make it so I can breathe better and will make me have less asthmatic symptoms. So instead of running to go get an inhaler and being addicted to inhalers, I've found many things. I have a fan in the middle of the floor that's pointed to the ceiling. I've learned to buy fans and things that flip up to the ceiling, and things that will do that is like air purifier, wind fans. You can make it flow to the ceiling on low and things like that. So I'm standing. It appears that Philip is sitting. Sitting is the favorite position of obese people, right? It just is. You always gonna be overweight and obese and morbidly obese sitting on your behind. Some of them are in a lot of pain, so they can't stand. Well, of course they're in a lot of pain. Look at all that weight that's going on your knees and stuff. I was having trouble with my right knee. All of that went away. I just made sure I didn't gain no more weight and I just walked, y'all. I did my 9-mile walks. 9 miles of walking, that's about 3 hours of walking. You don't have to do it all at one time. You can walk an hour and a half and get a 4.5 miles in, and then walk another hour and a half later in the day and get another 4.5 miles in, totaling 9 miles. Okay. An hour walking, 1 hour of walking. Normally you walk 3 miles. 2 hours of walking, 6 miles. 3 hours of walking, 9 miles. So you dissect it like that. So tune in. I'm playing it more.
And timing is everything. So I think now is a better time probably than a couple of years ago to have this conversation.
And it's gonna get more interesting, y'all.
With you. So thank you so much. Somebody put his
Kendra's very polite. I like that about her.
Link to his channel in the.
I admire them, y'all. I like to see their success. I like to see Kendra's success in all areas. I like to see her success in her weight. I like that her marriage lasted. It was to death do you part. I think she's a great role model. Sometimes I think she's a little hard on women. I think she's a little harder on women than she is on men, but that's what she wants to do because I think she wants to get the change in women so they can have better relationships. That's what I believe. So I admire both of them. However, I have my own channel. Even though my channel is small, I want to point out things and different perspectives because I want you to be happy whether you're married or unmarried, okay? I don't think it's best for all people to be married.
Link to his channel in the chat for me, please. Okay, so Mr. Phil, I wanted to speak with you today with a subject that has been on my mind lately, and I was trying to figure out who best to have this conversation with. And I think it's probably somebody who, in my opinion, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is well-traveled, someone who has been married for years as well, who has a family.
She's complimenting him more, and she's liking the things that she just mentioned, that he's well-traveled and he's married. She's not going to mention his weight because he's going to click off of her show, right? So if she brings up his weight, he's going to hang up, file a lawsuit against her, lie and say he's the normal weight he should be for a black man in America. He's the best weight he could be. All you other Negroes are little Negroes, and he's a big Negro with a big wad of money and a big channel. I mean, it can actually go that way if you pissed him off. So she's not going to do that.
Years as well, who has a family. And
he ain't happy sitting up here, y'all, because he know his weight ain't right. Yeah, you're not happy when you she's happy because she got normal body weight. So normal body weight and not being obese. I mean, you could be a little overweight and still be okay, but she's way more happier than him because she has a healthy weight on her. Okay? So you got to link this. She's unmarried as of right now, as far as I know. I don't think she's gotten remarried. She always says her husband passed away after 20 years. She never had any biological children, but she did raise her siblings. I think it's about 3 of her siblings that Kendra raised. Okay, but she's way more happier, and she's not married anymore because her husband passed away. I don't know how he passed away or why he passed away, but she's looking more happier than Philip Scott, and he's married and obese or overweight or morbidly obese. I don't know his height and the how much he weighs. I just can look at him and I know. Okay.
And all of these things established in your life. I wanted to talk to you about the extinction, as it were, of the Black American family.
She's talking about the extinction of the Black American family.
And I guess one of the questions that I want to ask to open this conversation is this: do you think, in your opinion,
some of it need to be extinct, y'all? It's going extinct, but we still got American crime femicide. And I mean, that's a YouTube channel, and you got one Black woman every 5 to 5.5 hours getting unalived.
the Black family going extinct, or are we on?
It was extinct, y'all, before it actually went extinct, because all it was a cover up for abuse, child molestation, rapes. It was a very bad situation. Slim to none were any of them the Leave It to Beaver family, y'all, or the Good Times family. So it was extinct before it went extinct. Check this out. The One Most High, the Lord, he makes it happen like this, right? When something is being abused and there's a curse on it, they don't ever look at it like that's the Lord ending it. The Lord is making a lot of marriages extinct and something of the past, and more people are going into celibacy, even men. There's a lot of men and ladies that are not sexually active at this point. So don't view things that go extinct always as a bad thing. The Lord wants us to come up with a new creative plan to make it work better. The Lord wants us to look at marriage for what it is and see what we can do to improve it. And one of the things we can improve is not marrying the wrong people. We can start there. Why did my marriage feel like a prison or like I was in a long-term penitentiary sentence? It's just because I married the wrong man. That's it. So that's something that needs to be worked on, is knowing who to marry as well. And marrying people that you can be happy with and work with and stuff. Like a lot of people, they change once they get married. There's already a lot of red flags before they come into the marriage. And to be quite frank, you just don't have to do it now. A lot of people, especially women and men too, they marry because of the financial stability of it. Now you don't have to do that, but if you did marry and your partner is willing to contribute to the home and y'all build money, then it's possible. That's if you marry a man that does not have addictions. So, or a woman that does not have addictions. So if y'all gonna stack money, neither one can be addicted to drugs, gambling, alcohol, any addictive behaviors. Some men will be, giving their money to prostitutes and stuff like that. So you want to make sure that the man and the lady that's in the marriage is not coming into the marriage with issues of addiction. Okay, will help a marriage a whole lot. But these so-called marriages that when it's extinct, they oftentimes were heavily addicted. So yeah, so hold on one second. Okay, I'm planning more.
Extinct, or are we on the verge of maybe like being obsolete or just not existing much anymore?
If you view social media, I would say, oh yeah.
And weight changes your voice as well, y'all. Weight, too much weight on you, it will change sleeping patterns, your voice. His voice is very masculine and deep, right? But this weight on him will make his voice that way, right? So don't always look at when a guy is like, you know, that super deep voice where there's no gentleness to his voice. I like talking to men where there's a gentleness to their voice, but if there's no gentleness to their voice, and I'm not talking about no gay shit. If it's no gentleness to their voice, a lot of time it's because they are big like a bear, y'all. That's the bottom line. They're morbidly obese or on the higher end of obesity. And like I said, before this video ends, I'm going to be discussing that.
The worst thing ever. If you touch grass and you touch the pavement.
And he's just too unhappy for me. I don't tune in to Philip Scott a lot because of his aura. He's just not happy to me.
You see families all over the place. You see people getting married all the time. But the thing that's dangerous today is that our younger people, male and female, do not want to get married. You cannot build a successful community.
He says what's dangerous is that our young people do not want to get married. That's not what's dangerous about our young people. What's dangerous is that they're on drugs, going in and out of prisons. They're in rebellion. They're not listening. They don't want to do positive stuff. Our young people are dropping out of school. Our young people being married is not dangerous. Okay. What's dangerous is the other stuff that they're doing. And see what he's doing, he's pointing out the danger in them not being married. But as of right now, he's not mentioning the other bigger dangers. Because what's more dangerous is going in and out the penitentiary, going in and out of hospitals. Okay. It ain't dangerous not to be married. Sometimes it is dangerous to marry because you end up marrying the wrong person and get yourself killed. And that's why I'm doing the commentary on it, so I can add what I want to add. He's expressing one danger, but leaving out the true danger. So he's hiding information from you as of right now is what he's doing. And I don't like that.
Want to get married. You cannot build a successful community.
I ain't in fucking danger because I'm not married. I was in danger in the fucking marriage. Okay, that's just the bottom line. And a lot of people will go through the same thing. I'm in no danger now because this Negro not gonna come home and black my damn eye in my own house. I'm not gonna get cussed out. None of that's gonna happen. But he's not gonna tell you the truth of that. You don't know this man. This man could go home and beat his wife ass as soon as he get off this channel. You don't really know this man. Okay. I'm hoping he's not doing that. I'm going to assume he's not doing. I don't know what Philip Scott does when he gets home because it's kind of alarming that he's not pointing out the real dangers. And he does. He talks in his news, his channel. He talks about dangers in the Black community, and stuff like that, but he needs to be pointing it out right now, telling you sometimes your damn marriage can be dangerous. He's pro-marriage but not pro-life, and I don't like that.
A community without marriages. If you look at all the different immigrant groups that come,
he want people back under control, y'all. That's the bottom line. Like Carl Jung could say, Carl Jung, the psychologist of the 1900s, Carl Jung talked about why people hate you, because they can't control your ass. So they want more marriages, so people be back under control like slaves. Some marriages are a form of slavery. Not all of them, but some of them are. He's not pointing that shit out here.
To this country, they come in married, they're having at least 3 children or more. And if you're not doing that, unfortunately,
Having 3 children or more, and you don't need a piece of paper to have kids, y'all. Most children will be born outside of wedlock, just so you're aware of the statistics. Now, I'm not saying you should go for that or you should do it on purpose, but most children will be born while their parents are unmarried. And if children are born while their parents are married, they usually will see some form of abuse going on in that marriage. So yeah, your parents could have been married, but you've seen abuse. You done seen your daddy hit your mama, and you done seen your mama leave, or you done seen your mama hit your daddy. You've seen all kind of shit. Okay, you've seen your mama or your daddy or both leave your ass at home and go out and smoke crack and shit. People have seen so much stuff. You don't need a piece of paper to have kids. You just don't. The kid's just gonna come here. If they ban marriage tomorrow and they said this is not allowed anymore, as long as men and women are alive, they will freaking have kids. Okay? A piece of paper don't stop people from having kids. People not gonna stop having sex. So kids gonna come here, and a lot of them.
If you're not doing that, unfortunately, in some countries, we're called in Swahili the Mzungu sometime in our mind, because they say we move and think like white people. Well, in some ways.
And you ain't gotta be happy just because you're not gonna become happy because you try to do what he did with his life. Okay, he may need to be married, he may want to be married, but that's not gonna necessarily make you happy. Be careful following people. Following somebody will lead you on a road to misery every single time.
We do, because we're putting our elders in nursing homes and forgetting about them, which Black people never.
And he's saying that people are putting their elders in nursing homes, which Black people were not normally doing in the past. Damn right. Because people have figured out they don't have to keep narcissists. I know one lady, y'all, let me tell you something. She keeps her mom, right? This lady is in her 60s, okay? She keeps her mother, and her mother is in her 80s and fit and walking. Her mom's like not in no wheelchair, nothing like that. Her mom has her own apartment, okay, that she can sit in if she wanted to. Her mom keeps her own apartment. The government pays for her mother to have this apartment. Her mother's in her 80s, right? And so her mother will refuse to go over to her apartment because she wants to control her daughter's entire life. So she's ruining her daughter's life. Her daughter is in her 60s, divorced, unmarried, can't keep a boyfriend. She's just straight supply. She has no real life. She misses out on her grandkids' events because her narcissistic mom that really hates her, because the daughter that she really care about, which is the favorite, lives out of town. Now, the daughter that's the favorite comes in town sometimes to help their mom, but I don't see how she do it. Her mother, just because she's her mother, gets to destroy the life of her daughter. She won't even give her time alone, y'all. Like, her whole life has just been taken from her. She can't have company over. Her mother cusses her out all the time. She's in her 80s and she cusses her out. She cusses her daughter out that's in her 60s because she don't like her daughter. Okay, so she's taking care of a narcissist. This 60-year-old lady, she's probably not very savvy on what a narcissist is. She has already been divorced from someone that's highly narcissistic or is a narcissist, but she basically is being living in torment of her mother, okay? And it's not cool. And we have woken up and we understand we don't have to live our life that way. I have a disabled brother that's in a home. I don't have to go over there and be insulted by him. See, we actually get to live our freaking life the way we want to live it now. Chaos free. 2025, you can actually live your life chaos free. Nobody's no longer obligated to take care of their narcissistic ass parents and grandparents. When I moved out of town, my grandmother acted narcissistic in some of her ways. I did not move back to St. Louis to take care of my grandmother. I called and I checked on her, but I didn't do that. Okay, my grandmother had already brought enough misery to my life when I was a child, and she brought happiness to my life as well. But I did not enter into that second stage of abuse. That's my grandmother, not my mother. I didn't get a chance to take care of my mother because she died too quick. My mom got sick and was dead within a month. Her physical body was dead. Nobody no longer has to take care of these fucking narcissists. And Philip Scott, he's trying to bring you back into misery. I'm gonna play it again, how he feels about taking care of these fucking narcissists.
Having at least 3 children or more.
So he's talking about children or more, but he's getting ready to get to people putting their elders in homes.
You're not doing that. Unfortunately, in some countries, we're called in Swahili the Mzungu sometime in our mind because they say we move and think like white people. Well, in some ways we do.
Yeah, we are thinking like white people, if that's what you want to call it. Okay? And that ain't always a bad thing. White people been putting their family members in nursing homes and adult family homes and assisted living facilities. They've been doing that shit long ago. Okay? We weren't doing it, so we remained in misery, taking care of narcissists, cussing you out. Some of them shitting on their cell phone purpose. My brother, when I kept my brother, he used to wipe shit on my wall on purpose and shit. Fuck no, I'm not taking care of him. And I also did not take care of my grandmother with some of her narcissistic ways. Now, I'm not saying my grandmother is a narcissist. Okay, there's definitely empathy there because she brought me in, but I didn't do it. And I'm not regretting it. You know where I would be? In the mental institution instead of on this live. You don't have to do this stuff anymore. And the beauty of it is you're not going to no hell for it. Long as you don't do it from wickedness, if you genuinely can't take on the situation, but you are steadily helping people and helping yourself and taking care of yourself. When I didn't take care of my grandmother or I didn't move back to take care of her, I spared myself a lot of pain, y'all, because I didn't enter into the second stage of the abuse. The first stage of the abuse is her raising me. I didn't enter into that second stage of abuse. You don't have to. You just don't have to. But he's going to get to the part where he's downgrading that shit. He's downgrading the fact that we're not taking care of our elders. Look at how our fucking elders are acting. I just gave you the example of the 60-year-old sister that's taking care of her elderly 80-year-old mom. Believe it or not, just because somebody your mother, they don't have a right to ruin your fucking life. See, that's something we not taught. Your mother and grandmother and any family member, your kids, your children do not have a right to ruin your freaking life. That ain't what your life is for. Do you realize that the Lord gave you your life so you could enjoy it and, be able to function and pray in peace? Yes, he wants you to help. But is that all the Lord wants you doing with your life? This 60-year-old woman that I'm speaking of, she misses all her grandkids' events. I had to ask the brother that I was discussing this situation with, I'm like, does she go to the grandkids? He said, no, she can't go to none of that because she's got to keep her mama. Do you think that's fair to the grandkids? But her narcissist mama don't care what she's missing. Her narcissist mama won't even get another caregiver, go to her apartment. I couldn't do my daughter like that. If I had any of my children take care of me and I had my own apartment, I would want them to have their space. Because I know that I don't have the right to ruin my children's life. I want them to enjoy their life. This lady, 60-some years old, in her early 60s. I don't know how long her mother's going to live, and I'm not wishing death on her mother, but I definitely would not be in that situation. But she's in that situation because, like Philip Scott says, we putting our family members in, we not putting our family members in nursing homes and stuff. So this lady that's like about 60, she's not putting her mom in the nursing home. If I kept my mama in that situation, I would have more boundaries. First of all, mom, you got your own apartment that the government is paying for. You can walk. Go over there in your apartment. We're going to get a second caregiver. I can't be the only caregiver because I got grandkids and I got other family members that I need to tend to. But this is what her narcissist mom does. Her narcissist mom has no empathy. But that favorite daughter that lives out of town, she comes in town every 2 to 4 months or something, spends a week helping her mama, and she gets back on that plane and takes her ass right back out of town. She's not letting her mom destroy her. And this is the so-called favorite. But the daughter that's taking care of the 80-some-year-old mom, she's not the favorite. So see, you got to watch that too when you're taking care of narcissists and you're not the favorite. So it's just not good for your life.
We do, because we're putting our elders in nursing homes and forgetting about them, which Black people.
We're putting our elders in nursing homes and forgetting about them.
We've never done that.
And we've never done that because they talk shit. When you go visit them, they talking shit, telling you how bad of a person you are. Like my brother, that's the shit he does when I would go visit him. The last time I went to go visit my disabled brother, he was telling me how bad I am. I ain't took my fucking ass back. Okay, that's the one thing. Have a standard for yourself. You know how bad that feels when you going to visit somebody and they telling you how fucked up you are? Well, you know what? I'm going to be fucked up enough not to come back. Why are you returning this shit like that? Go visit people that's thanking you. It's nice to see you. I can't wait till you return. What you going to be doing tomorrow? Can I call you? Go visit nice people. Stop feeling overly sorry for these freaking narcissists.
We're not wanting to get married. We want to do whatever the hell we want to do.
Yeah, we do want to do whatever the hell we want to do. We the one not to get married and do what the hell we want to do. I ain't got to put myself in his situation. He's actually expressing in some way how he feels about his marriage. So I guess marriage means you can't do whatever the hell you want to do. He's put himself in that situation. You and I don't have to do it. Don't let somebody else's misery make you sign up for shit that they signing up for. Because it may not lead to happiness. And you got to remember this generation, Philip Scott's generation, and all of these generations before us, they don't teach happiness, y'all. And as soon as you start talking about true happiness, they gonna be you thinking like white people. Okay, remember that. You thinking like white people now. It's bullshit.
We're not wanting to get married. We want to do whatever the hell we want to do.
Yeah, I do want to do whatever the hell I want to do, Phil.
That we just really didn't do. If you think back in the day when we were more successful in American history, we were married. We built.
They weren't successful. The true reason of the marriages being extinct and ending is women figured out a way not to get their ass beat, and they the Lord blessed them where they could earn their own income, and you don't have to get the shit beat out of you anymore.
70+ towns in this country, we were married when we did most of our innovation and inventions in this
And it was legal for them to kick your ass.
country. We were married.
But then hit your husband and see what happened. They're gonna arrest you. But if you married, you was considered his property. So for many years, there was nothing they can do until Francine Hughes finally murdered her husband. The burning bed lady finally lit her husband up in the bed with his alcoholic woman beating self. He was beating her. He was gonna beat her to death, and she burnt that whole house down and went to jail. And they ended up letting her out. So that's when some of the laws changed. When Francine Hughes said, "Fuck this! I'm burning this whole motherfucking house down with this Negro in it." And I'm calling her white husband a Negro. Yeah, he a Negro too. So that's what happened. Thank you, Francine. So that laws changed so that I don't have to get the shit beat out of me and the police not do anything about it.
Married. Even in slavery, in that horrible condition.
And he's talking about slavery, that horrible condition. Shit, you entering into slavery when you marry the wrong person.
We were married.
That's slavery, but he's not gonna tell you that.
But today, you know, I don't need a man, and it's about getting.
I never say I don't need a man. I don't speak like that. I think speaking like that, what if the Lord wants to bless you with one? I don't say I need one, but if it is not my calling to have one, I can function without one. But I don't say, oh, I don't need no lights in the house. I don't need no food. I don't need to eat healthy. I don't need a man. I don't talk like that because you're blocking blessings that could come to you. The right marriage is a blessing. Okay. I'm pro happiness, but I'm not anti-marriage if it's going to add to your happiness. Okay. I hope that makes sense. But I'm just adding and pointing out the stuff that Philip Scott is not teaching you. The stuff he's not sharing with you on here, which could be a form of kind of like creating like a cognitive dissonance in your brain. Like part of your brain is listening to what he's saying, but another part of your brain knows that what he's saying is not fully healthy because the brain knows when there's information that's being missed.
Oh, I don't need a man, and it's about getting money. I use him, and then some of the dudes like, well, you know, I can just travel and give me a.
And just because he's married doesn't mean he's sexually active, y'all. Keep that in mind.
The 304s, I'm fine, but you cannot build anything just everybody being single. You're going to have to get married, but
you can build something being single, and I'm going to tell you how. Mexicans do it all the time, and a lot of them are not married. Asian people do it too. Mexicans and Asians, 20 of them are live in one house and all split the rent. Okay. And none of them are married. They're just roommates. So that's another option for you. You don't have to be married. People do it with their properties now. They own properties and they rent their property out to Airbnb. They sign up for the Airbnb program and say they got 4 bedrooms in their house. They rent those rooms out for $400 to $1,000 each or whatever the rooms are running, and they have 4 to 8 people living in their big house. One person's renting the living room, 4 more people or renting the 4 bedrooms or more than 4 because they can rent 1 bedroom to a married couple or some siblings or cousins or something like that. So there are other options to financially move up other than married. What about getting the right roommate? See, he's not going to tell you that. You don't have to be fucking the person for you to make a financial come up. Just get the right roommate. Roommates that will actually pay towards the rent. move out of your big house into a tiny house, buy you a tiny house, and then rent your big house out to Airbnb and rent all those rooms out. You could bring in 10,000 a month doing that. And that may be more profitable than being married. So I'm sharing options with you. You have options other than just being married. I know siblings. I got some cousins. They're two sisters. They've always lived together. From the time they left Alabama and moved to St. Louis, where I was living at the time, they've always rented together. They stay in the same house right now to this day. They're my grandmother's nieces. Ain't neither one of them married, but they live in the same house together and have been doing so for decades. Okay, there are other options, and neither one of them are getting beat up. So hello, baby Saja. How are you doing, dear? Thanks for coming into the live. I appreciate you. You might have missed the first half of it, which is okay, but I'm doing commentary on Philip Scott's video and Kendra. So thank you so much for coming into the live. I'm baby Saja's favorite YouTuber, y'all. So I'm gonna keep bragging about that. So she's here in the live. I appreciate you so much. That's good, you're good. What I'm doing, you know how I am, baby Saja. And this may be one of the reasons I'm your favorite YouTuber. It's due to the fact I've been in this live 56 minutes. So I'm just telling you the stuff that Philip Scott is not gonna tell you. I'm not anti-marriage. I'm pro-happiness. I don't think it's always bad to get married. It's okay. But he's not telling you everything. Okay. And I just talked about, him talking about we putting our elders in nursing homes and stuff. Yeah, because they narcissists. You're not put here to be abused. All they do is abuse you and ruin the rest of your life. I gave an example. Baby Saja, watch the other part of the live where I give an example of a 60-year-old woman. She's in her early 60s. She's about 60 or 61, and she's taking care of her elderly, asshole, 80-year-old some mother. This woman can't go to her grandkids' events. Her mother won't even let her have time alone. She the only caregiver to her mama. Her mother has her own apartment that the government pays for, y'all. It's horrible. She cusses her daughter out. Imagine this. You 60-some years old, taking care of your elderly 80-some-year-old mom, and she cussing you out. But see, Philip Scott, he wants us to still be living in a time where you feel like you got to do that. So he's not telling you the truth. Oh, thank you, baby Saja. Yeah, and I'm going to be trying to do the lives more often. I have another job too. So just so you're aware of that, I do have other jobs or a job that I'm working. And so I try to do my lives. I'm always going to be here, but sometimes I get overwhelmed with the other job. And so this is my job and my hobby or whatever. So thank you so much. And I was waiting, baby Saja, to come do a live to be here with you. Okay, so let me go back into this commentary. And make sure, baby Saja, you go back and you replay the live. I'm also going to put the video in the description box so you can watch the video yourself and see what Kendra and Philip Scott are talking about. I like them both. I watch their videos. I'm a fan of theirs, y'all. But on my channel, no matter how small my channel is, I can tell you the other part that they not telling you so that you can make a better decision on how you want to be happy. Because remember, I'm pro-happiness, not always pro-marriage. I'm pro-marriage or I'm for marriage if it's going to really make you happy. But I'm giving you other options too. Like I just named the roommate options. You don't have to get married. Rent your crib out. Getting married is not the only way to make a financial come up. That's like prostitution. That's like saying the only way you can do better financially is the only way you can do better financially is to have sex, and that's not the case. Okay, Baby Saja says, did you watch K-pop Demon Hunters? No, I haven't been able to watch that yet, but I will be putting that on my to-do list to watch that. But I have not watched it yet, but I will be watching it because I want to know what you're watching. And so I have not watched that yet, but I will be. So let me put in here, let me see. I'm actually gonna do a screenshot of this so that way I can remember to go watch it. Okay. Hold on. Yeah, it's on Netflix. Okay. It's on Netflix. So hold on, let me go back into this.
And just everybody being single. You're going to have to get married. But this is the deal. This is the beautiful thing.
He says you're going to have to get married. No, you don't, y'all. Marriage is one option, not your only option. And that's the problem with a lot of these old school teachings. They just teaching you one way. I just gave you another way to do it, y'all. Get you some roommates, do credit checks on them, do a background check on them, and get you some roommates. Move out, get you a tiny house, rent your house out. Move some of your relatives in that want to stay and pay rent. You probably got cousins and siblings, maybe friends from high school that would like to move in. Marriage is not your only option, y'all. It's just not. It's one option, but not the only option. And this is what I'm here to talk about. You need to know all of your options so you can make the best decision that's best for you. Okay, I'm gonna give you an example. I was a teenage mother, right? One of my aunties came to me and she told me that I had an option to get an abortion. That's what she told me. I said, no, I'm not unaliving my baby. Okay, so I had my daughter when I was a teenager. I didn't take the abortion option. But it's pros and cons to not taking that option, right? So you need to know about options. I'm a true believer in options, just like my auntie told me I had options. She was letting me know you do not have to have a child as a teenager. Okay, so she told me options. That's all I'm doing. Same thing my auntie did, telling you what your options are. Marriage ain't your only option. Just like me actually giving birth to my daughter as a teenager was not my only option, okay?
And just everybody being single. You're going to have to get married. But this is the deal.
You're going to have to get married. No, you don't have to do shit, y'all. That's what he had to do.
Beautiful thing, Sister Kendra. The time is here and it's further coming. Well, you're going to have to get married or you won't survive. You will be evicted and you will be...
I'm surviving just fine and I'm not married. And I'm going to continue to survive without being married if I need to be. If the Lord wants me to have a husband, that will happen. But I'm going to survive if I'm married or without a marriage. Either way, I'm going to survive. Because the Lord is going to make sure I survive, right? Who's your provider? He's making you miss out on who your real provider is. Your real provider is the Most High, y'all. You're going to survive no matter what, because the Lord going to make a way. Man ain't your God. Your husband not your God.
We homeless. You got to go back to the time of grandma and grandpa. Where you gonna have
I'm not going to fucking be homeless because I'm not married neither.
You each other. And that's the good thing.
When I went homeless and was displaced, it's because I ain't budget my freaking money, y'all. Spending money on shit I shouldn't be. It wasn't because I wasn't married. It's because I was not budgeting my damn money and needed to get better with that. I needed to learn money better. I needed to understand money better. yes, not being married, that can create a foundation that leads to homelessness because there's less money in the house. But the truth of the matter is, when I went displaced, the truth is it's over the way I budgeted. I made a budgeting error. I had a bill and I paid the wrong bill. Okay. I had 2 to 3 bills to choose from, and I should have paid my rent, but I didn't. I chose to pay my friend the loan back I borrowed. I made a bad financial move, like gambling, right? Like when you gamble, you gamble wrong and you lose all your money. Okay? So that's what happened. The true reason to homelessness is not budgeting and many other reasons. Some people got drug addictions and gambling addictions and food addictions. Look at My 600-Pound Life. More of them get evicted than they ever will show you. You ain't spending $4,000 or $5,000 on food because all of them ain't buying that damn food on no food stamps, y'all. Because food stamps don't give you that much. So yeah, so let me play this.
And that's the good thing about Donald Trump being in office.
Okay, so you bring up several good points.
He said it's good that Donald Trump is in office. Y'all, I stopped voting for presidents. The Lord is my president. I don't do that anymore. Donald Trump wants to force you back in slavery. He wants to make it where it's very difficult for you to get divorced. You need to be aware of this before you marry again, especially if you do a marriage on paper. You do not have to do your marriage and the government knows about it. When you do your marriage on paper, the government is now in your business and you're not taught that you don't have to do it that way. You can actually marry, have a ceremony. Muslims do it all the time and they're not married on paper. You don't have to get the freaking government in your business. You do have options. Yes, if you want to put your marriage on paper, you can do it that way. But there's an option for you to marry in a religion or outside of one and not put it on paper. Okay? He's not going to share that with you here. Philip Scott is not going to tell you that. He wants you to sell your soul, lose your house, be in all kind of bullshit because you're in a legal marriage. If you marry the right person, a legal marriage can be beneficial to you. But if you marry the wrong person, your legal marriage is going to backfire on you. You signing that freaking paper going to backfire on you because you married the wrong freaking person. He's not going to tell you that here. So I'm telling you.
Points. And I want to try my best to touch them if I can in this conversation. I agree with you when you say that we're really not going to survive without marriage.
She's promoting this fear mongering too. Kendra, she's making you feel like you can't survive without marriage. I thought that too when I got married. When I was young, I thought I couldn't survive without a second income in marriage. And I got my ass beat, y'all. That's the type of thinking that these people teach you to make it where somebody gets seriously injured, jailed, or hurt. And then the worst part of it is just being miserable all that time and not experiencing true happiness and freedom. Okay? That's your that's the unhealthy exchange that goes on in those type of situations. But they're not gonna tell you that, y'all.
We're really not gonna survive without marriage, without those things, without us coming together.
You will survive without marriage. You have to survive without marriage. And you know what? They supposed to be, especially Kendra, she's supposed to be a Muslim and a religious woman. Who you cannot survive without is, in her case, she would say Allah. And Allah just means God in Arabic. You cannot survive without Allah. She's not teaching that right here. You cannot survive without Allah, but you can survive without a marriage. Now, if Allah sends you the right partner, you can survive and function maybe even better. That's the catch. If it's the right partner, they're not discussing that enough.
Without us coming together as a family unit, because as you said, and I've said it many times,
Coming together as a family unit. Family will be the first to fuck you over.
Be a community without a family. Families are the building blocks of.
Families are your enemies, y'all. They ain't always your building blocks. Some family members provide a building block, not all of them. Most of the time, for a lot of families, especially black families, if you come from a black family, you most likely not going to come from a bunch of normal people. It's going to be a mixture of empaths, narcissistic people, narcissists, and psychopaths. So your biggest blessing may be getting the fuck away from your family. So you can build a building block around good people. Because just because they family don't mean they good, y'all.
Of communities. And I do find myself recently almost hesitating to say that we are a black community just because of the low marriage rates that we see.
Yeah, it's a low marriage rate. She disappointed that y'all ain't doing what you told anymore.
To have. And I think that, and I also agree with you that the younger generation is just not looking forward to getting married. That's not something.
Hell no, the young generation not looking forward to being married because they in jails right now, y'all. You got kids that's coming from pastors that are incarcerated right now. Some of them going to be doing longer sentences. Some of them going to go to prison. Some of them not. So hell no, they not getting married because they're fucking locked up and on drugs and getting shot down. Why can't we fix those issues first? Them getting married ain't gonna solve it. We see that on American Crime Femicide all the time. I just did a live. The last live I did, I talked about the brother that bashed the sister head in when they was at a location. You think he need to be freaking married? You think he needs to be married to that sister? He don't even know how to keep his hands off of her. That ain't the problem with the young generation being married. The problem is they can't stay off drugs and stay out of prisons and jails. They're rebellious against their elders. And marriage doesn't solve that problem. They need to fix the drug problem and going in and out of jails before they get married. You want to be married to somebody that can't stay off drugs, can't stop gambling. And I'm talking about somebody that's addicted to gambling. Not somebody that's gambling once a month or something like that. Like people that's actually having an addiction to this stuff. That's what needs to be fixed. Marriage don't fix it, and it never did. They had the same problems back in the day. You had men that brought in thousands and thousands of dollars a month. It all went to gambling. They experienced poverty because dad is putting all the money on the games and gambling. Stupid. Some of it went so far to where they didn't even have dinner. They didn't even have shit to eat, y'all. You know how many hungry kids suffered because their parents had drug addictions and gambling addictions and other type of addictions, food addictions? We don't add that up. We don't add that to it enough. Everybody's skinny and shit in the house because Papa weighed 400 or 500 fucking pounds, and he eating up every motherfucking thing. His grocery bill $2,000 a month. Can't pay the rent, can't do shit because Papa keep getting bigger. Come on now, let's add food to it too. We always talking about the drug addiction and gambling addictions, addiction to prostitution and stuff like that, addiction to pills. Let's talk about food. How large grocery bills on one motherfucker in the house destroyed everybody. We don't want to discuss that.
Mary, that's not something that is the goal, as they say. And I wonder how much of that is a result of social media influence?
Social media does have an influence, but this problem was going on way before social media. Social media, for one, y'all, is really just exposing a lot of the stuff. But social media does have an influence, but it ain't the reason. People was in fucked up marriage before social media because the media itself, just the fact of people having TVs. As soon as people brought TVs in their home, they was affected with miserable marriages. The power of the TV. I have no TVs in my home, y'all. Okay. No TVs. I have computers, tablets, phones, but as of right now, I do not have a TV. So let's talk about the power of the TV and how fucked up your mind can get by watching TV. If you have an addiction to TV, you can't even make it to my live. You got to watch that TV, y'all, because you're not making it to any live to learn anything if you zoned in on all that fake shit on TV. I like lives, documentaries, historical videos and stuff like that. And some movies and, like Baby Saja is recommending certain shows and stuff. I'll watch that. But you got to have diversity in your life. Just don't be addicted to Netflix and TVs and stuff like that because it will hinder your learning and your growth. So let me play this here. Okay.
Of social media influence upon them, because I'm sure you've seen so much anti-marriage rhetoric and
I'm not anti-marriage. I'm pro-marriage if it's the right marriage, but I'm pro-options, y'all. I'm not anti-marriage. So just understand that.
Content from both sides. I've seen men do it. I've seen women. We don't need to get married. No one needs to get married. One of the key phrases that tend to crop up in social media pertaining to marriage, and I'd like your thoughts on this, is from both sides, marriage is a scam.
Well, as a person,
she said marriage is a scam. It can be. I lost thousands and thousands of dollars getting divorced, y'all. It's horrible. The money I lost that I'll never get back. Because that's the thing. Once a paper marriage, once that woman or man decides they hate you, one of the ways they show they hate is to take your money, right? And one particular bill I had was about $60,000. The up to $10,000 I paid to the attorney to get up out the marriage. All the money within the marriage, because I didn't really realize till later I was under something called financial abuse. What financial abuse is, okay, every 2 weeks I get a paycheck because I worked. I was not a housewife. This Negro was not taking care of me and none of that. People treated it that way, but my name was on everything we had. I contributed towards everything we had. I put down payments. I was a financial person. So what was happening is in financial abuse, it's easy done to ladies that don't believe that the man is a provider. So when you go in marriages, in these 50-50 marriages, that's where the financial abuse comes. So every paycheck, I would have $300 that was allowed in my pocket, $300. But within 2 weeks, I've spent that on the kids' clothes, things that are needed for the kids. I've spent it on gas and food and stuff like that. So that $300 allowance that my ex-husband and I determined would be my allowance actually just kept me in poverty. Okay. And so I didn't come out of that marriage with shit saved. Now, if that $300, every paycheck that was my so-called allowance that came from my earnings, y'all. He ain't giving me this 300. It's coming from my paycheck. Okay. So if I would have been able to take that 300 and my ex-husband said, you can save that money, and he hand me another 300 for spending money, then that's a good deal. But he wasn't doing that. So that's a form of financial abuse. And the reason I say it is because I'm just now realizing that that was a bad deal. And I've been out of that marriage a long, long time. I'm just now realizing this. It was a shitty deal. Now, the 300 I have every 2 weeks now, if I choose to, I can actually save it, y'all. There's no, you got to buy kids clothes. Fortunately, I paid any debts off that I owed in that marriage. I'm clear and free of that demonic bill that was put on me, but it definitely hurt my life, and it's hurt the lives of many people, because I'm married to the wrong man, right? That's the bottom line. I'm pro-marriage, but you got to find the right man or woman
who is married. As a person that dealt with divorce, as a person who
basically I was sleeping with the enemy. So ain't no good coming out of sleeping with the enemy, except I got this channel to teach you about it. And you could be married right now and you like, damn, my husband giving me $300, but he ain't giving you shit because you work for it. My ex-husband act like he was giving me something because we had a joint account. I worked for that motherfucking money. That $300 that was my allowance every 2 weeks, which added up to $600 a month. All that money went right back in the motherfucking house. On the kids' clothes, because I'm steadily popping out babies. It's going on the kids' clothes, gas money. Gas alone going back and forth to work was about, even then, $50 a week. So that 100 of that is already wiped out on gas. Now you want to be in the type of marriage where you get this 300 allowance, but he's adding more on to you. Maybe 600 would have been a good deal. Okay? Because, okay, I take this 300 from my paycheck, and then the husband that's really a real provider adds another 300 and say, baby, put that up. But my ex-husband's not going to do that because he don't want me to break free of this torturous ass marriage. And he also wants me to leave the marriage, have me in and out of court for custody battles. This is all of what I went through. He wants me to leave the marriage in poverty. Now I have true financial freedom. I have true freedom now, because if I had 300 every 2 weeks, I could save that shit and put that shit in the bank and save it. Okay, so I'm actually in a better position not being in a marriage like that. And the next marriage I get in, since I'm pretty good with budgeting, I'd rather get in a marriage where the man says, I'm gonna just give you the whole check and you just budget. I'm gonna get in one of those marriages. I'm not getting in with no more men doing that 50-50 shit. I'll be bringing my own income into the marriage as well, but I'm gonna make it a better deal for me and my future husband. We're gonna be able to really stack money and not be financially abusing one another, because I'm just coming into the knowledge over the past year or two that I was actually under financial abuse.
And I dealt with divorce as a person who paid child support until my son got 18, and as a person that remarried once again, I can tell you.
So he just addicted to marriage. He paid child support to the first son in marriage and did the stupid shit again.
The way the laws are, we have to be honest. The laws are very slanted against men.
So at this point, Philip Scott, he don't care if the marriage happy or not. He just care about not having another bill. Be careful with that. You want to be concerned about happiness too. Not, he ain't gonna get a second divorce because he don't want another child support bill. not a happy man.
And if you're a man that's broke, don't have no money, the laws don't really mean nothing. But when
you broke when you unhappy too, but he don't understand that.
You a man that do yourself, you could be a man that don't cheat on your.
Bob Marley say, what was his favorite quote? Or one of his best quotes of all time? They so poor, all they got is money.
Like, don't beat your wife. Do great by your children. Your woman could wake up one day and say, you know what? I don't want to deal with you no more. Or she could cheat on you and still get half, even after cheating on you. Now, some states may penalize you for that, but no fault divorce means you can leave for any reason or any time. And so, at least on a lot of men aspects, there's men who got money, men that.
And I agree with no fault divorce because they ain't your God. The only person I should not be leaving is the Lord. I want to be able to leave anybody else. If I wake up one morning and I decide I don't want this shit, this man not my God. So I believe in no fault divorce. I support it. I think it should remain in law. You should not be tied down to any human being. I don't care who they are. I believe in adoption. I don't believe you should be forced to keep your children. I don't think you should be forced to keep your parents. I believe in no fault everything, y'all. You are a human being and you have a right to live your life in a complete happy way as you see fit. Okay? So that's how I believe, and that belief is going to continue. I'm going to go to my grave believing in no fault divorce. And anybody that's trying to make a no fault divorce illegal, like Donald Trump, he wants to control you, keep you in misery, just like his miserable ass. Donald Trump is not a happy man. He's overweight as well, just like Philip Scott. All of these overweight Negroes, Donald Trump and Philip Scott, they all want y'all miserable. They want you trapped in marriages, trapped in slavery, and they don't want nobody to be happy because, like they say, misery like company. That's the bottom line.
Money. Men that's making 80, 90, over $100,000 a year where a divorce is going to hurt them. Maybe they got a pension. Maybe they got a good 401k or something like that. They are penalized at the exit of the marriage, and he don't have to do nothing wrong. Like, I can understand a man was beating a woman and cheating and doing the kids wrong. Listen,
he don't have to be beating her and cheating. If she's lost love for that man, she should be able to have a no-fault divorce. The only reason for a divorce is not that they beating you. You just want to do something else, y'all. That ain't your God. Who you married to is not your God. You ain't got to be getting your ass beat. One of the spouses ain't got to be cheating on one another to get out of it. Sometimes people just wake up and they want to do something else with their life besides sit up and look at somebody that they're not in love with anymore. It may be painful for the other person. If I was married and my husband woke up one day and he didn't love me, well, you know why that happened? I must have married a man that did not love the Lord and he didn't have a good spirit in him in the first place. Because a man that loves the Lord may stay in love with you. So if you marry a demon and him or her wake up one day and they don't want to be married to you, then they should be able to have a no-fault divorce. The only reason for divorce, as I said, should not be getting your ass beat and being cheated on. It's also the way you feel too. Marriage is not a death sentence, y'all. It's not the electric chair and it's not the gas chamber. And it should not be treated as such.
Cheating and doing the kids wrong. Listen, all of us are cool with whatever he go through. But there's been so many men. I've been through it, okay? So many men who went through that, and they say, you know what? I don't think I want to do this no more because, Kendra, what kind of business deal would I go into if you would say, you know what, Kendra, we're going to be in business and we're going to sign an agreement, and if any one of us leave this agreement, this business, you could take half the company, I can take half, whatever the reason, we can leave. Now, would you want to sign up with that agreement with me?
No. No. Not for any reason. Because,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So you wouldn't sign that agreement in the area of business. Okay. On top of that, not only you get half of the business, you get assets on top of the half of the business that you got to pay for, or you can go to jail. So it's a lot of men that have experienced that. But on the eyes of the guys that's podcasting, the popular guys, a lot of these guys never been married before to even discuss that, or even divorced before to discuss that. You know, which they probably got a bunch of illegitimate children out here and paying child support. So that's that aspect with the guys. The women, same thing. A lot of them never been married either, and they just talking. Or some of them are married, got a man telling you, you don't need a man, you don't need this and the third, don't put up with this from a man, but then get off of that internet and go be with their husband while they gassing you up for AdSense checks. You understand? So that's kind of like the dynamics that you see with that, but it's also all counterproductive for anybody that needs to build a family. Because when the pandemic comes again, or hard times, you probably want to be looking for somebody. A lot of women discovered that real quick during the pandemic. Guys that they didn't want to talk to, now, hey, big head, you know, you look like you're a nice guy. When them office jobs go away, or 300,000 of you get fired in a month or two time.
Okay, so we got the financial aspect, which I'm going to stick a pin in, right? Because I do think that has a lot to do with the women's reluctance to actually not get married. I think women still want to get married. I don't think that they necessarily want to be wives, but I think that they want to get married to some degree because I think no matter how much feminist rhetoric they spew, that's a part of judging a woman's value. What kind of man she got, and can she keep him? But I'm gonna try to stick a pin in that, and I'm gonna go to something that you said about people on the internet giving all of this, not only advice, but telling.
And the truth is, y'all, you can't keep nobody but the Lord, right? So that's another thing. You know, it kills me when people supposed to be a Muslim or Christian, Jehovah's Witness, Catholic, whatever they are, and they're not bringing more of their religion into these situations. So you can't keep nobody but Allah, since she's Muslim, right? And Allah is Arabic for God. So I'm just going to be saying it in that aspect. You can't, that's the only person you can keep is Allah. Or I mean spirit, because Allah is not a person. It's a spirit, and it's the creator. So that's all you can keep. You can't keep a man or a lady, because this is a human being that has a right to move on if they want to. If a person don't want to be with you and they don't love you no more, why would you want to stay with somebody like that? Give them a no-fault divorce. The best way to prevent a situation like that is to be involved with somebody that you're spiritually compatible with. And y'all live in the same lifestyle, y'all. You know, you can be with somebody, you can think y'all spiritually compatible, but if they a drug dealer and you not, y'all are not compatible. You may feel spiritually compatible. Y'all might talk about God together. You can even pray together, right? But y'all are not spiritually compatible. Okay. A lot of people are not going to keep a consistent prayer life. Initiate prayer in any new relationship and see if the other person calls back to do the night prayer. Initiate prayer. Two people that do not have an appropriate prayer life, that won't work as well. You don't want to keep making people pray. They're not your kids, y'all. So initiate prayer. See if they, instead of calling back to pray, they go gamble. They go to the strip club. They go sell drugs. They can do a number of things. So these are red flags. So you may be entering into a marriage that's not as spiritual as you think, because y'all are not truly compatible. A drug dealer and a non-drug dealer, no matter how much they love the Lord, they don't belong together. They just don't belong together. People got to get these addictions under control. Say someone, they gamble here and there, but they not addicted to gambling. If they not remembering to pray, then it's not going to work out. They not really a spiritual person, y'all, if they ain't doing their prayers. It don't matter what they say. What do you mean, baby Saja? What is a period? Oh, period means period, like that's it. Like period mean that's it. Like confirming what I just said is what period means. Like, this is the truth. Period means this is the truth. What I'm saying is the truth, and that's it, and that's all. That's what period means. Thanks for asking, baby Saja. Oh, talking about the dot? I have no idea what it means, baby Saja. I have no clue. So let me get back into this commentary.
Not only advice, but telling other people how much marriage isn't worth it and have never been married before. In your opinion,
I mean, a period for me would mean ending a sentence. I guess that's the only thing I know what just one dot means. It would mean the end of a sentence. But dot, 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 I'm not sure what that means. When I write my sentences, I end it with dot, dot, dot. So that's my period. A period used to be just one dot, indicating the end of a sentence. But now we got more fluency in this. 3 dots can be the end of a sentence. So hold on. Let's get back into this commentary.
And without casting aspersions on anybody's particular platform, how detrimental or helpful do you think that these types of podcasts are, which are led by people who've never actually been in the trenches of a marriage one way or the other?
She calls marriage, y'all. Pay attention to the red flag, right? So, baby Saja and everyone that's on the live, listen to this. And trenches. Trenches is something that you in when you're in a war, y'all. Trenches ain't good. When you in the trenches of World War III, people dying and get shot, y'all. Listen to how they word marriage and listen to the truth in it. Even though they promote you getting in toxic situations. Because remember, I'm pro-marriage, but I'm also anti-misery. I don't want you miserable. And if it means that you don't enter into these marriages in the first place to avoid misery, or you exit out of these demonic ass marriages so you're not miserable, I'm pro-happiness. But I'm pro-marriage if you cannot be miserable. So pay attention to how she call it trenches, y'all. I don't want to be in no motherfucking trenches. Trenches are fucking war zones, okay? And she's promoting this shit.
Well, let me start off with, it's the blind leading the blind. And so
no, I ain't blind. So Philip Scott, they talking about themselves. Kendra and Philip Scott, they the blind leading the blind. But I'm not blind because I'm able to intellectually think and process what they saying, and everything they saying is not in your best interest or my best interest. Because it leads to obesity. That's why he's sitting up there big like that, sitting on his behind, doing this interview. Okay?
Well, let me start off with, it's the blind leading the blind. And so it's extremely detrimental. It's kind of like me going to a broke person asking for financial advice. Would I ask them?
Yeah, you can get financial advice from a broke person. Let me tell you why. I could tell you what sends you broke. Okay. I was a broke person, and this is what sends you broke. Marrying the wrong person. Don't do that. It'll send you broke. Getting too many credit cards. I filed bankruptcy many years ago. Don't do those things. You can get advice from me as a broke woman if I'm willing to tell you the things I did that made me broke. Having too many freaking kids. Having kids being unmarried. Having kids by the wrong person. Not saving money. I had money, didn't save it. I wasn't taught budgeting. I'm just now learning more about what budgeting truly is. And what it is not taking on a bunch of kids, y'all. You got 12 grandkids. You ain't got to move them all in your house if you don't want to. It leads to poverty. So you can take advice from a broke person. That's what Black people want you to feel. See, he wants to put himself on a pedestal and make himself feel more important. Now, if the broke person that's financially poor is not going to tell you the truth of how they got poor, then you can't take their advice. But I just gave you several ways to become rich. Don't be in credit card debt. Don't marry the wrong person. Save more money. Stop getting all these vehicle payments. So you can take advice from me as a broke person because I'm willing to tell you the mistakes I made. They always do that. He might not even tell you this. He's not mentioning this on this video. He may not truly teach you finances because the thing is, everybody's not going to be Philip Scott, right? This is a popular, famous Black man. Everybody's not going to become famous. So you may need to take advice from broke people that's willing to tell you their mistakes. Okay? So it's not true. It's just like saying, I can't take advice from that prostitute out there. Yes, I can. If she's willing to tell me, sis, don't get in my lifestyle. It hurt me. I got beat up. I got raped. I got forced to use drugs. I can listen to her. Some of the greatest advice I've ever received has been what people would call a broke person, financially broke. Remember, I quoted what Bob Marley says, one of my favorite quotes. They so poor, all they got is money. Believe that quote and go with it. Anybody can give you good advice. They could be a crippled and sick person. I was just somewhere, my son and I were somewhere, and a gentleman, John, I talked about it in my video. John had half his foot amputated. He had diabetes since he was 9 years old. I talked about it in one of my lives. He was telling me and my family member and my relative what happened and how to eat healthy, how to watch what you eat, how to prevent diabetes, how to not do what he did to get sick. As a sick man, as a medically sick man, he has a good mind, but his body's sick. Can he give me advice? Yes, and he did. He ignored his body. He neglected his body. He admitted to this. And he told me and my relative, don't do that. He wished well upon us. So yes, a sick man can tell me how to live a healthier life. If that sick man is willing to tell me how he got there. And also being able to have enough empathy to say, don't do what I did. So don't listen to that. I'm so tired of hearing Black people, and I've even heard it from white people. The poor can't give you advice. The sick can't give you advice. That's devaluing people. That's where you can get your best advice. If they're willing to tell you the truth. I've learned more from poor people than I could ever learn from Philip Scott. I'm just doing commentary on this video. I don't watch him often, but I do watch him here and there. Maybe I need to start watching him more because he is a financially well-off man. Maybe I need to watch him more. Okay?
No, because they don't know how to handle the money clearly because they don't have any. I may have it, but they don't. So it's very detrimental. The things they do.
It ain't. He may have it. He got.
If you study it, it's propaganda, and it's repeated propaganda on both sides. It's not beneficial. I mean, you got to think about it. Rage clicking, rage watching, rage commenting is ways to go, right? At the end of the day, they're content creators trying to run a bag up. They don't really care about it being detrimental. They don't care. All they want to get is they paycheck at the 21st of the month. Okay, so they're not going to take responsibility of the microphone they're on. And some of us who say this is really detrimental what they're doing, it is.
I love Kendra's laugh. It's cute the way she smiles. She's pretty to me.
But I'm gonna tell you, Sister Kendra, what platform I believe is the worst platform. I didn't used to think this way, but until I did a lot of research, I was like, not YouTube.
I'm glad. Well, oh, okay. I thought he was gonna say something else. He said, yeah, hold on.
YouTube isn't the worst platform.
He's saying YouTube is not the worst platform. And I would agree upon that. Yeah, YouTube is definitely not the worst platform. Where can I go to express some of my thoughts and opinions and communicate with people and not even be as popular as him? Where could I go? YouTube is such a blessing, y'all. It's one of the most blessed platforms that I've ever been in. You know, growing up as a child, y'all, I was a dancer. I danced. I was jazz, ballet, and tap. My main form of dancing was ballet and tap dancing. I used to do performances in St. Louis, Missouri. I was in plays, and I was in my element a little popular. Not just myself. I met one of my best friends in dance school when we were 6 years old, and we were some of the best ballet dancers in the world, you know, or in St. Louis, Missouri, not in the world, in St. Louis, Missouri. And it was an era where they liked you light skinned, y'all. You know, you pulled your hair back in that bun, and caramel complected and light skinned girls, we were put in the front. Because there's a lot of racism in ballet. And I was put in the front just based on skin complexion. So that's how it was. But at the same time, it don't matter because I'm a black girl in the front. And I know I'm a black girl in the front, no matter how light skinned I am. Because I know that bun I got up in my head. I know how much work they had to do to that bun. They had to press my hair, put a damn relaxer in it, and still press it because it's so thick, right? So yeah, they could make it look like I got a white girl bun, all my real hair, but shit, I know what I had to go through to get that bun in order and having that relaxer and that pressing comb puts in my head. But YouTube, I'm telling this story to say this: YouTube allows me to still experience my talent. Because once you've been in acting and dancing, I did it for 8 years, y'all, as a child. Up until high school when I ruined my life. And even in high school, I played the clarinet. I played an instrument. But 6 years old, I'm in dance school, so I did performances at many locations and school buildings. And I was known as a pretty good ballet dancer and tap dancer. And so being involved in media as a child until I got to high school and decided to get a boyfriend and be sexually active and have a baby. Being involved in media, there's still a desire in me to do that. And so YouTube allows me to get that acting energy out. And I don't have to act much because on YouTube, guess what? I don't have to act. I can be my real self, y'all. Now, acting and dance, I'm someone else in a sense. But YouTube is even more beautiful because I get to act like me. Ain't that beautiful? So yeah, YouTube is one of the most beautiful platforms there is. YouTube has been a healing platform for me. I'm not in a therapist's office right now. I just tell y'all what happened to me right on here. I don't need to go to a therapist and say, by the way, when I was married, I got my ass kicked. I don't need to do that. I just tell you about it right here. Like one of my cousins said, my channel is therapeutic to me. And that's so true. So let me finish. And this cousin I'm talking about, she's a happily married woman with 3 sons and is doing very well. 1 husband, children by the same man. So has there been some triumph in the marriage? I'm quite sure it has, but it lasted. They seem happy and it's worked out for her. So I am pro-marriage if it's a good marriage. I'm not anti-marriage. I'm anti-misery. That's what I am. I don't want you in the wrong crap.
See, TikTok.
Okay.
Wait a minute. What did he say about TikTok, y'all?
Research. I was like,
Hold on.
check at the 21st of the month. Okay.
Okay.
So
So he
they're not-
said a check at the 21st of the month. Kendra laughing. I don't know if she's laughing because he's not saying the first of the month. He said the 21st of the month. That's funny. Yeah, Philip Scott is something else.
I'm gonna take responsibility of the microphone they on, and some of us who say it's really detrimental what they're doing.
I love how he's always been against police brutality, y'all. I think he has a good soul. I see good soul in Philip Scott. Okay, I'm just on my channel. I'm not him and I'm not Kendra. So on my channel, I get to express how I feel because this is Advanced Insight channel. We're here as a team on this channel. Okay.
It is, but I'm gonna tell you, Sister Kendra, what platform I believe is the worst platform. I didn't used to think this way, but until I did a lot of
I like how you still say "ama," y'all. That's cute.
research, I was like, not YouTube. YouTube isn't the worst platform. It's actually TikTok.
Oh, so he's saying
Okay.
TikTok is the worst platform. I have a TikTok account that I don't upload on very much. But I do have a TikTok account. But yeah, I upload more here because I find that for me, I can teach and learn more on YouTube. So TikTok, I don't know. It's a lot of childishness in TikTok. YouTube to me is more serious and fun. Yet it has its own humor, but it's not childlike play to me. So that's just how I feel. So I would agree with Philip Scott on that YouTube is definitely a better platform than YouTube. No. Let me take that back. I would agree with Philip Scott. Let me make sure I said it right because I don't remember what I just said, y'all. I be tripping. I agree with Philip Scott that YouTube is a better platform than TikTok. I hope that's what I said. So I completely agree that YouTube is the primary place you need to be. Okay, I would totally agree with that. I like the way the platform looks here. It's in agreement with the way my brain thinks, and YouTube. I started uploading on YouTube with very little training. Y'all, guess who trained me? My kids. My children helped train me on some of this stuff, okay? And I thank them for that. Especially Elijah. I'm going to give him credit for this. When I first started my channel, even though I did little videos about my son and, his disrespect and stuff, I'm going to give my middle son credit for helping me, even though I don't approve of a lot of his lifestyle. And my baby boy as well, Daniel, helped me out a lot as well. Daniel, he's my inspiration, y'all. Elijah, he trained me and helped me. But Daniel provides me inspiration. You know why? He stood around and he stayed around the house to do videos with me. He just didn't teach me how to do videos. He's in videos with me and stuff like that. And he spent more time with me. Daniel, the way he treated me was with more of love. Okay. That I would say touch my soul more. Elijah, he's my middle son, but calling me a bunch of bitches and evil people. He's calling me evil and shit. That don't touch my soul. But I am going to give all of my children credit. My firstborn as well. He's the mask man on my channel. That's my ride or die, my firstborn. And my youngest son, Daniel, is my inspirational teacher. My middle son is knowledge, but he has violated me and my family in ways that is almost unforgivable. Okay. So I will say that. And he continues to violate me because this is what a undiagnosed psychopath would do. Right. Okay. So, yes. So let's move on from here. Okay. Tune in, listen.
It's actually TikTok.
Okay. I might can get with you there because, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I have gotten on TikTok, and I actually got on TikTok. I'm gonna tell you why I got on TikTok, not to make content, but to see and gauge the discussions that are being had, the content that's being put out by anybody, not even by any particular people, but just the general conversations that are being had in the Black community, Black TikTok, the women and the men, you know, and there are different subsections. I realize there's hoe talk, where all the hoes get together and talk about sex work, you know, and how to do this and how to do that according to sex work. And then you've got the anti-marriage TikTok, the divorce TikTok. You've got and all of those things are rare.
She says all the hoes get together and talk about stuff. When you're going against the grain, y'all, and you're believing in something different, and you team up with other people that believe the same thing you do, you're considered hoes. Okay.
We see content geared towards this is how we're actually supposed to do.
I don't agree with that. I don't believe that just because a bunch of women get together and believe something different than me, I don't believe they're just hoes, y'all. But that's a narcissistic way of devaluing people because they're not following your program anymore. They're no longer under your control. Because a hoe, like she calls a hoe ain't under your control no more. And that's keeping it real. Neither is a pimp. A pimp is in control. And a hoe that's choosing to be a hoe solo on her own, that's not under a pimp, she has just as much as control over her life as a pimp does because she's hoeing just solo. And people don't like hoes. People don't like pimps because they can't control hoes and pimps. So that's the truth of the matter is they might be jealous of a hoe and pimp and want to have some of their level of control. That's just the truth. There may be some envy of the hoe and the pimp. I don't envy a hoe and pimp, but I'm just letting you know some people will. And I don't think Kendra per se envies a hoe. I think genuinely she doesn't want to be a hoe. And she's not a hoe. But she may, because of her devaluation of hoes, she may put somebody in a hoe category that's not actually a hoe. They may not truly be an official hoe, but she may call them a hoe because she's not in control of that hoe. It's all about power and control.
Towards this is how we're actually supposed to do things. Marriage is not bad just because people are not conducting marriage properly.
What's conducting marriage properly? Your marriage should be conducted how you want to conduct it. It's your marriage. The way she conducted her marriage ain't the way you got to conduct your marriage. It's your marriage. do what you and your partner want to do in your marriage. You decide, you and your partner figure that out. All this conducting, it's control to the highest degree, and it's not always good. I'm not pro control. I'm pro healthiness and pro righteousness, but not pro control. Okay. You don't have to wear the same color shoes I wear. Okay. If you don't like the color shoes I wear, you ain't got to wear them. Okay. Wear the color shoes you want to wear. Okay.
Doesn't make the actual concept of marriage bad. And I'm gonna go back to something else that you said you could, because you brought up laws, things like what is it? No fault divorce, the child support law.
She brings this up again because she's against no fault divorce. I'm pro no fault divorce. It should stay in place. Whoever you marry to ain't your God. Even the Lord don't make you stay signed up to be on his team. At any point, I could decide I want to be on Satan or Shaitan's team. So if I want to be on the devil's side and I decide to do that, the Lord will allow me to do that. So why can't you get out of a marriage if you don't want to be in the marriage? What makes your relationship with a man or a woman or a lady more powerful than your relationship with the Lord? Even the Lord don't force you to stay on his team. If I decide right now I want to worship Satan, the Lord gonna let me do that because that's what I'm deciding to do. I would never decide to do that, but the Lord would allow me to do it. It's the same way you should be allowed to get divorced. No fault divorces should remain legal, and you should get involved with your local politicians and your state politicians to keep no fault divorce legal. Find out how you can support no fault divorces. That means you're allowed to get divorced without having other reasons to do it. A no fault divorce, your spouse does not have to cheat on you. Your spouse does not have to beat you up. You're allowed to exit out of that marriage. So you can't tell me marriage is supposed to be more powerful than your relationship with the Lord. It should not be.
Child support laws. I think everybody sort of understands, whether they are for it or against it, they understand the slant that the laws cause.
And the child support should need to stop. They need to stop making parents pay child support, whether it be the man or the lady. Parents need to stop being made to pay child support, and they're not allowed to visit their children. That shit needs to stop. It needs to be legal as well.
And that the laws are mainly against men, and mainly it's not in the favor of men, especially since
she's pro men. Everything shouldn't be in the favor of men. Things should be in the favor of Allah. That's what things should be in the favor of, not the favor of men.
Men can just say, you know what, I don't want to be here anymore. And like you said, without giving any real reason as to why this marriage didn't work or it can't work.
And she's Muslim, okay?
You just go file paperwork and then it's done. How, with that in mind, how helpful do you think it would be to the marriage rates and to people's willingness to get married in the first place would be if those laws were to change and be more balanced and more fair?
Oh, I believe it would change marriage across the board. I mean, a lot of men, so we're talking about men that's well-to-do, men that's well-off. They won't.
Notice they're mentioning a lot about the man and not enough about the lady. That's why ladies got to be careful with signing up for this, because marriage is a man-made situation, and it is a form of submission to a man. And I understand that. Now, would I ever do it again? Yes. But I understand even the sexual act, right? When you get married and that man goes inside of you, you're submitting to man now in some sense. It is a form of submission to man. And what happens is the lady is being left out a lot. So just be aware of that. No matter how old or young you are, you got to understand what true marriage is. Okay. So I understand that if I'm married, I got to give up my body now. Just like when I'm a servant of the Lord, I got to give up some prayers to the Lord, right? You're just giving up something different. So you got to understand that before you get into a marriage, and just make sure that whomever you marry to, it's worth it, because you are going into submission to a man, and the woman is internal. Okay. So because the man goes inside the woman, I'm not going to say he is your God, because that would be inappropriate, but he has a lot of power and control over you, whether you realize it or not. Okay. A woman does not have a dick to fuck herself. I mean, she could go buy one, but that ain't no real dick. You could go buy one of them toys or whatever, but it's not a real dick. So you got to understand marriage. And if you don't want to take that clearly, this says that this is going to close. So I got to start a new live, y'all. So I got to start a new live. Please like, share, and subscribe. So I'm going to do a part 2 to this, because